Shalom. All praises to the Heavenly Father, Anoka said. Praise be to the Earthly Mother, the Pachamama, and all of her earthly angels, the Erkadeshoi. Praise be to the Holy Spirit, the Kahe. In the name of His only begotten Son, Matzah the Lamb, unification to the nation. Okay, guys, so this is gonna be the last video that I do on my computer for quite a bit of time because I'm visiting family tomorrow. So I don't know when I'm gonna be back to making videos on my computer, and if not, I guess I'll see you then. But I'm gonna bring some books with me, and I'm gonna make some more PDFs. So that's mainly what I'll be doing. Might keep up with some of the news, but I don't know. But anyway, I wanted to touch a little bit on the map that I made in the last video, because I believe that I've kind of figured out where the four rivers are truly. So starting off with the Mississippi, I actually believe that this is the Tigris slash the Hiddekel. That's what I believe this is. And I believe that the Atlantic Ocean, the northern part, is the Euphrates. And that would actually, I don't know. I guess that would include a lot of these different rivers in Canada as well. Because we assume that things are running out from here, and it's not. This map is a deception. You must remember this. The highest elevation in the world is right here. If this is the highest elevation in the world, then everything is flowing down from here. And we just have to view it from that perspective. Once we do that, it'll all start to make sense. And of course, the lines didn't look like this, so it's going to be confusing. So you have the Hiddekel, you have the Euphrates. Now you have the Gihon, which I believe is the Nile River. And the Nile River, at least to me, it's apparent that this flowed all the way down here. Now, I don't know if this was connected to the Orange River or this was just, made its way out. But the Nile River actually flows from Africa into the Mediterranean Sea, believe it or not. Because as we went over, the Straits of Gibraltar were not open before. So where did this water come from? It came from the Nile. So that means that this water is flowing into here from somewhere else. And then last you have the Pai Shan, I believe. And as we went over, I believe 2 videos ago, because this land has been cursed by the Most High, the water is not running through here, but there used to be another river that ran out of Peru. To me, it seems like that was the Paihan or the Paishan, I forgot what it is. You could just look at the map actually. The Paishan. That was the 4th one. It all runs out of the Garden of Eden. Orinoco covers the first 3. Euphrates, Hiddekel. I don't know how the Gihon is getting it, but it's coming. It's coming out of here, man. It's coming out the center of the world. The highest elevated land in the world. All the water is falling down from it. The Paishan. What does it mean? It means to grow up, to be grown fat, spread cells, be scattered. It refers to the results of all those who live beside the future I don't know what that word is, but it's supposed to run through Havila, excuse me. What am I thinking of when I'm saying Havila? I don't know. And what was Hawaii called? Hawaii or Hawaii. It's really W. It's W, so it's really Hawilla or Hawaii. or Hawaii. So that land, this land right here, what they call Mu, that was Havila, the land in the Pacific that had all the gold and the minerals. A lot of this land is very rich as well. So then you have the Gaihan that runs throughout all of Ethiopia, which is Africa. And again, there's old maps. There's really old maps that have the Nile River going all the way down here. So that's not me just saying that, you know. Then you have the Hideko, and it's east of Assyria. And Babylon is right next to the Euphrates. And it got me thinking, was Babylon both in Europe, in Western Europe, as well as Eastern America, North America? Is that where it was? And just an interesting thought on my behalf. But anyway, let's start off, man. Oh, we still got a little bit more. Why the Mississippi flows uphill? See, you wouldn't think that the Mississippi does not come from the Northern Pole. It actually goes upward. And the only reason it goes downward is because it's literally going down elevations. But when it's on the same elevation, it's actually moving upward. Well, how could that be? This interesting illusion from this place demonstrates that the Mississippi River, or any river flowing toward the equator, actually flows uphill. The Earth is not a perfect sphere. There is an equatorial ring about 13.5 miles deep. In other words, sea level is not constant. I don't know why I can't read today, bro. It is higher at the equator than it is at the poles. So what are they trying to say, man? See, the poles is a recent concept. The poles were not the poles back then. You know, the poles, as we went over, the pole was actually, the magnetic pole was here, right? So anyway, let's go to the next one. I found this interesting, since we just spoke about, well, I just showed you the map. Why does this have Peru Yala Nadu? I wonder what that is. What's that about? You have Peru. What's with the Peru connection, man? What's with the Peru? What's the Peru, man? I don't know. Lemuria, the lost virgin continent of Kumari Kingdom. Now, they teach that there was some sort of land that was underneath India, the Aboriginal population. They teach that, right? And well, you know what? While I'm visiting, my folks, I'm saying this because I said that I was gonna visit them a few days ago and it didn't work out, but I guess I'm able to now. But when we get into Owaspe, we're going to really dig into this concept of this lost land. So that's going to be fun. I don't know what I wanted to read here. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is what it is. Adding to the mystical allure, Madame Blavatsky, and I had that book. I got to make a PDF. I'll take it with me. Included Lemurians as the third root race, along with the inhabitants of Atlantis. Now, what did we go over in the other video that I did on the Ley Lines? We went over the fact that the people of Atlantis were taught by the Lemurians, right? But here's the thing. Why do they call the people of Atlantis the Aryan race and the white race? Why do they do that? Why would the Lemurians be also the Atlanteans? See, I'm just going to tell you what the hijack is because I didn't get to say it in the last video. Atlantis is not just one island. Atlantis is not just South America or, the eastern part of North America and the western part of Africa. No, it's the whole thing. It's the Americas, it's part of Africa, and it's a part of a land that sunk. That was probably near the Bermuda Triangle. That's Atlantis. The whole Americas is Atlantis. Specifically South America, but the sunken city of Atlantis was probably around the Bermuda Triangle, as it seems. You know, because I don't really see it being, you know, in the southern hemisphere. Just not how it's described, and you know, the land wouldn't really fit, but it would fit if it was in between Europe and North America. Just another map. You could see all the different land that was here, man. Everyone has all these different theories. Why? Because they know that this land had to have been connected. These cultures are too similar. The animals are too similar. People can argue culture, they can't argue against the animals, bro. Right? This person put pretty much Atlantis right here. Now, he's saying that there also could have been some land right here. Possibly. Or maybe there are two Atlantises that we don't know about. And maybe they're hijacking. I don't know. Let's move on. Look at this. This is what I wanted to read. Thus, the Mediterranean at one time was an inland sea when, in the place of the Straits of Gibraltar, an isthmus connected Africa with Spain. England, even during the more recent history of the earth, when men already existed, has repeatedly been connected with the European continent and been repeatedly separated from it. Nay, even Europe and North America have been directly connected. Whoa. So you mean to tell me that Babylon, that the Euphrates River didn't look like how it does before? I mean, how it does now. See, a lot of the land has changed, man. All this land up here, like Greenland, you know, this was connected. Like, this was like a land bridge. So it would make sense that the Babylonians were in Europe as well as North America. There's a strange genetic marker that's here, that's only really there. It's strong here in the Great Lakes region, stretching all the way to Western Europe, but the majority of it is in the Caucasus region. So what I want to go to. The South Sea at one time formed a large Pacific continent, and the numerous little islands which now lie scattered, and where it were simply the highest peaks of the mountains covering that continent. The Indian Ocean formed a continent which extended from the Sunda Islands along the southern coast of Asia to the eastern coast of Africa. This large continent of former times, Sclater, an Englishman, has called Lemuria, from the monkey-like animals which inhabited it, and it is at the same time of great importance from being the probable cradle of the human race. The cradle of the human race is Lemuria, which in all likelihood here had first developed out of anthropoid apes. Okay, what? Or, well, whatever, but point is that everything came out of Lemuria, but how is that possible? Because, bro, the ark must have landed somewhere in this region. So that would just mean that it would be the cradle of civilization. Most of the DNA in the world comes out of India. Only a little bit of it, like the primal races, come out of Africa, but there can be older races, and they find older haplogroups all the time, and they don't speak about it. Okay, I hope I'm not boring you guys. But, and this is the book that he wrote. I'm going to leave this in the description, because it was very good. And this is what he put as Atlantis. Now, this is interesting, because how he describes this, it really looks like South America flipped upside down, when you really look at it. Looks just like South America when he's describing Atlantis. So, the Amazon Sea, this is an really old Tibetan map. Why would they go out their way to list Machu Picchu and Tiwanaku? Why? They even have this river flowing out. It's the same thing here. There's a river flowing out of the western side, if that is South America. Let's go to here. He is not always very careful to inform his readers when he shifts from making use of scientific data to relying upon Blavatsky's revelations or his own astral clairvoyance. Thus, the real Toltecs of pre-Columbian Mexico blend into the subrace of mythical Atlantis in his writings, becoming in the process an ancient lost society of giants who peopled the equally ancient city of the Golden Gates in some imprecise spot west of the modern African coast. So he understands that there was a mythical race of giants that have mixed in with the Indians pretty much, and created the peoples of the Americas today. We're all mixed in with Canaan. We're all mixed in with him. So you calling people Canaanites, I mean, we're all mixed in with him, bro. I literally mean that. If you're not mixed with Canaan, it's not likely you're Israel at this point. That's how much we mixed in with him. And there's this book, I got a PDF, so of course it's in the description, man. I haven't checked it out yet, but maybe I will on this little break that I'm doing. Now I wanted to remind you of the different vortexes that we had in ancient times, because again, well, I don't know about again, but just because these are them now, that doesn't mean that they won't change or have changed or whatever. Now, I actually will agree with this because, there are definitely notable spots, and we wouldn't put these things in these spots for no reason. But we're about to go into, well, there's something very peculiar about the Americas, because as you can see, these things all line up. These things are all in one accord, right? It's all in one accord. And it's showing you that this was an empire. This was not a group of people who did not know each other. They all knew each other. And that's what these group of people, their ley line research has led them into pretty much accepting. Every single landmark is exactly aligned with Machu Picchu, with Lake Titicaca, with a bunch of different places. And then you have another place in Easter Island aligned with the Cape Verde Islands. The Cape Verde Islands are aligned with Chichen Itza. This is very important, man. This is super important. Excuse me. The Schumann's line. Taking into account the curvature of the Earth, when a line is drawn through Mount Shasta and Sedona, almost every important sacred site and mythical place in the Americas line up perfectly all the way near Machu Picchu, Lake Titicaca, and Tiwanaku. So it's going... Did you just hear that, bro? It's going from Arizona to Lake Titicaca. That is the alignment. It's perfectly aligned. From right here in Arizona, California, down here to Lake Titicaca is perfectly aligned. So they all must have been on one accord. These are not a bunch of different people. No, these people built all this stuff at the same time, around the same time. And they aligned it around the same time. And of course, I'm sure that the giants, that the Canaanites, they probably did this stuff while they were here because they were very knowledgeable of this stuff. But we were on the same page at one point. The lines at Nazca, Peru might be on a map of super alignments located on the ancient Lemurian ring. Now, I'm not sure where he thinks Lemuria was, but the point is that all this stuff he's showing, it all connects to one place. It's very interesting. Mount Shista, Pyramid Lake, Area 51, Sedona's vortexes, the Grand Canyon, Canyon's North Rim, the Olmec sacred site of La Venta, the Mayan calendar site at Ipaza, Polish petroglyphs of Ecuador, Holy Mount Uru, and near to Machu Picchu and Tiwanaku at Lake Titicaca, aligned by the hand of higher forces and the wisdom of the ancients. Mount Shista, that is in California. Sedona, Lemurian Ring, Tropic, Yucatan, Ipaza. I can't see that, but see, everything's aligned, bro. It's crazy. But where is all of this centered? Not by this triangle, but well, you'll see. He's wondering what Cape Verde is, but I'm guessing we were inhabiting those islands as well. Easter Island, Nazca Lines, Machu Picchu, Tiwanaku. Is this the same face? Who is this person who was at both the ancient city of Tiwanaku in Peru and also at La Venta, the Olmec stronghold in Mexico? Now, honestly, this looks like some sort of Canaanite mixture. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not one of the people who believe that the Olmec, were Israelites. I'm sure some of them were related to them, but I don't think that the majority of them were, because they're a very old culture, and the Israelites, they came after them. They learned from them, but I don't think they were them. But of course, that's my opinion. So all these links will be in the description. Let's go to the next one real quick. This just has a lot of interesting conclusions that I'm just like, wow, like that's very interesting. Let me see. Again, another alignment. Everything seems to be centralized here in the Bolivian Peru area. Now, I'm not no ley line expert or anything, but I just wanted to show you guys so maybe you guys could do something better with it. That was another thing I wanted to share real quick, because this is stuff that people are really starting to recognize. And let me see. Yeah, this is what she said. The Lemurian beings are the Earth Keepers, the protector of Earth Mother's land and her natural resources. They are the original, indigenous, brown-colored people and dark-skinned beings who walked and lived upon the face of our Earth Mother for eons of time. They are the intuitives, the majestics, the healers, the kind, the generous, the peaceful, and the loving. They are the original shamans. vibrating at the highest frequency. In our ancient time, the Lemurians could control the forces of Mu, walking on water, standing on fire, transporting themselves through the air and ether at any place and at any time, capable of shifting the atomic structures in the environment. The Lemurians are the magic star beings who have no limit. They are the sincere devotees of the divine and her creations. Now, I don't know if that's talking about before the flood or is that talking about us after the flood. I'm not really sure. But you can tell that these are some righteous people. Whoever descends from this must descend from some sort of Enochian, Mayween line. So that's all I got. I wanted to share with you guys. We'll see what happens with all this, man. May peace be with you. Selah.